Okay, so this is the after video. This is the first training day. For Alex, it happens to be the second one because we had a previous class. So let's go ahead, watch him full speed, and then we'll break it into pieces for critique. Here we go.
Ready, go!
So it looks pretty efficient. It looks light. That's the one word that I would use to describe his running. But we're experiencing some malfunctions. Let's look at the positives first. The positives are that he's not reaching with the heel, so he's no longer heel striking. Every single time that he lands near perfect on the forefoot or midfoot. Right there, you can see it landing over and over again. In addition, every single time that he lands with a slight bend in his knee. That slight bend in his knee is what's going to allow him to be springy or keep that S shape that we're always talking about during our drills. We always want to have a nice S going on, and of course it'd probably be like this, but you get the idea. In any case, here we have the nice figure 4, which is the pose that we're all going for. So this here is a positive. His eyes are oriented in the correct direction. His arms are not excessively swinging, so he's very, very relaxed up top, just countering whatever's going on the bottom. So that's all the positives. That's all the things that he's fixed and he's improved upon. The things that we need to address and improve moving forward is the size of his wheel. It's a bit exaggerated for the speed that he is going. So right now, that's a pretty big wheel. That's more like a sprint than it is a 7 or 8 minute mile. Where you would keep that pace for a 5K. So the foot is too high. Remember that the higher the foot, the bigger the wheel, and the bigger the wheel, the more you should be leaning. In his case, he's not leaning enough. If his lean is here, for the size of that wheel, he would need to be leaning here, somewhere like that, in order to match the size of that wheel. But since the lean does not match the size of the height, it looks a little bit funny, and he's working too hard. He's basically totally revving out his engine, but he's still stuck in first gear. You want to be able to kind of lower the RPMs and get momentum going, and that's only going to happen if you lessen the size of your wheel. So something like this would be appropriate instead of this. Other than that, really good running. Everything is safe, which is the first priority. From here on out, the weeks will sharpen Alex up. Very nice job. Next up, we have Rachel. Rachel is also taking a previous class with me, so she's doing fantastic. Let's watch her at full speed and then break it down. One more time, this time in slow-mo.
Ready, go!
Cool. So let's look at her stride. Her stride is also very nice in that whenever she reaches for the ground, she makes sure that she keeps a slight bend in her knee. So that is awesome. Kudos to you, Rachel. You look great. Also, when she lands on her midfoot, forefoot, her center of gravity, remember we talked about her hip, um, her hip her hip needs to be directly over the ground. So whenever her hip is there, she should be, sorry, that's a crappy circle. Whenever her hip is here, her center of gravity should be right over it. So right there, all of her weight is on her foot at that specific point. Okay, so her hip is there, and of course, her midfoot is striking right underneath it, right there when she has that slight lean. You'll also notice she has that figure 4 that we all adore, and it's superior to the previous runner in that she keeps her wheel commensurate to her lean. So her wheel matches her lean. See, she's leaning here. Good stuff. Her wheel is nice and short. Since she's not leaning that much, she's not sprinting, and it matches. She's also not reaching with the heel anymore, which is a huge positive, since we're going to avoid shin splints and all those other little nasty critters. Upper body, we have the eyes looking straight at the horizon, and then arms are totally chill up top. She's holding up those ice cream cones, and she's not too tense. So very, very nice running, very light running. Good stuff, Rachel. Keep it going. Next up, we have Christina, full speed. Wow, what can I say? Let's watch that one more time. That is glorious. One more time. Ready? Night and day from the before video. You can see that she is no longer reaching with the heel, not as much as before at least. You can see she still has a little bit of an old habit there, but we're going to break that through training. At least her knee is not bent. So you see she's keeping a slight bend in that knee, as opposed to like before when she was just totally extending out there. She's also ensuring that whenever her center of gravity or her pelvic bone is directly over her point of contact, which her point of contact of course is that midfoot, that ankle, that line that we're always talking about from the side. In addition, we have our figure 4, and the height of her ankle is dead on in regards to it matching her lean. Eyes are forward, which are positive, and her upper body isn't as, it's not moving as much as it was before, so she's not going to create extra drag or extra force where none is needed. Let's watch it in full speed. I'm sorry, slow motion. Very light. Ready? Very light. Good stuff. Alright, who's up? Great, now we have Elizabeth. Full speed. Ready. One more time. Nice. Elizabeth has also made tremendous progress. I don't know what to say. This is just good running. Here you can see she's mid-stride, and she's going to be reaching out with her forefoot. So right there, oh, old habits are hard to kill. There's the heel, but at some point she corrects herself and puts all the weight. So for Elizabeth, I would say you have a good dangle, or your angle here is pretty good. See how it dangles there? Your lower leg will dangle underneath your knee. That's what you want. That bent knee is what's saving you right now throughout this running, but you just want to hide the soles of your shoes. Yeah, so if your shoes are facing up like that, I'll be able to see your soles from the front. So what I mean by that is if you neutralize that foot so that it just dangles there and it's just relaxed, you're going to land in the appropriate section, the appropriate portion or padding of the shoe. Nonetheless, pretty good running. See right here, she goes for the heel, but she corrects and rolls into the forefoot. She keeps that figure 4, which is really nice, and she has a proactive rear leg. So when I say proactive rear leg, I mean that this leg here is always moving forward with every frame. So you see from stride, right there, she jumped from one pose and went into another pose. Look at how that rear leg continues to move forward. Right there. That's what's going to get you to be efficient, as opposed to just leaving that leg back there and just stomping, wasting rubber on the road. Her eyes are also forward, and her arm movement is minimal. We'd like to reduce the arm movement a little bit more, but we're going to work on that here in the coming class. It's very nice. Much better. This is also a complete 180. Alright, now we got Stephanie. Nose ring. Very nice. Very nice. Very quick feet. Much better. Just amazing. Here we go. Nose ring. Very nice. Very quick feet, which is going to be good for her overall efficiency. You can see that she has her figure 4. You can also see that she is no longer heel striking. She is reaching with the forefoot. and landing perfectly on the midfoot, which gives us this glorious figure 4. The height of her ankle is just right. She has the 4 we love. Eyes are forward. Not a whole lot of negatives that I can say to this running, and the upper body arm swing is just right. Really, 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 really nice running. Just ignore me yelling out the nose ring, and it's actually a nice thing to see. Here it is one more time, full speed.
And run, nose ring. Very nice. Go.
Alright, next up we have Mark. Mark has also fixed his heel striking. You see that he has a bent knee now every time that he reaches for the ground. We could do a better job of relaxing that lower leg a little bit more, but still not bad. Much better than the heel striking that was happening before. You also see his figure 4 here, and his eyes are forward. His legs are relaxed enough to where he doesn't raise that ankle so much. So I think that the height of his ankle matches the height, or I'm sorry, the lean that he happens to be running with. Upper body wise, he's doing a great job with the ice cream cones. He's not crushing them. He's just holding them very lightly. Very, very nice. And then finally Wade. Wade.
Smaller, there.
There it is. Wade just needs to lean a little bit more. He's running in place, and that's why it looks a little bit funky. But nonetheless, he still manages to kick ass with his figure 4 and landing on the forefoot, which is right there. Also, his rear leg does a great job of turning around. It's always pushing forward. You can see it right there. Okay. His arms and upper body is responding appropriately to what he's doing. We also just need to get rid of the Tigger running, yeah, that bounciness.
Smaller, there.
There, see? So he's going too much bounding, and that's also inefficient to oscillate like that. So think about running like a Segway. And that is pretty much it. Watch yourselves, watch your peers, and learn from everyone. Don't stop watching these videos or playing them in your mind. They're going to help you out, I promise. I'll talk to you guys soon.